Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, and today I'm going to share with you flowers for the city dweller. Those of you in the country may laugh, but today is flowers for the city girl. Here at the Floral Design Institute Creative Center, we have a garden. We actually have two gardens. They're about 3 foot square. Yes, those of you that have true gardens are going, that is no garden. But for a city girl, that's a huge garden. We have 2 3-foot squares. In the middle is just a big tree. And then around that, we do our plantings. Each year is a little different. We decide, we kind of get together and we think, oh, what should we do this year? This year, we really kind of did a little different. We call it our Prairie Garden, and it's just filled with grasses. And to many, it probably looks like weeds, but to me, I just love it. Gone are those pure, manicured, perfect flowers, and in its place, lots and lots of grasses and wild things. My favorite is this grass, and it had overgrown everything. It was just covering and laying down when the rains came and hiding the mosses and such underneath. So I pruned it. I thought, well, I've got to cut that out of there so that there's room for the other grasses and the other things, but I couldn't throw it away. It was so gorgeous. And those of you that live in the country are going, oh my gosh, that looks like the things we dig up on the side of the road and burn. And it probably is. But for me, it's the most beautiful reminder of what it was like growing up out in the country, where I could walk through the fields of grasses, even when I wasn't supposed to, and maybe they were crops of alfalfa, but I would hunker down and hide and walk through the fields, and oh, how I loved it. This design is going to use those wonderful weeds that I call grasses. I've chosen to work with a clear glass vase so that the stems will all show, and in that same flaring movement that the grass has. So then all I need to do is gather the grass in my hand and cut it down so that it's in the proper scale. And what is scale? Sometimes the easiest way is just to set the vase at the edge of the table and then hold it, looking until you determine exactly where you want it to be. I'm going to just cut off a few inches. I don't want this to be too short because I want that flare and the drape to continue. So I'll prune these down. Almost feel like I'm mowing. May have to save this. I don't know what I'll do with it, but it's kind of fun. Then with the fresh cut ends, just dropping them into the vase. I'm going to give it a little bit of a twist first to make it look like it's spiraling. And then drop it in, and the stems just wrap around. I can relax it and let it drape. And it makes a grass fountain. This is the beginning of my arrangement. To enhance my grass, I decided I wanted a weedy type flower, and Love in the Mist is absolutely perfect. You may know it as Nigelia. It's one of my favorite flowers for the summertime because it's almost interactive, and by that I mean it grows and changes even after it's cut from the root system. So many flowers just start to fade away, but the Nigelia, or Love in the Mist, continues to go through the whole life cycle. So you get these wonderful hairy little buds, then you get the blooms that come in whites and blues and lavenders, and then as those fall off, the seed pod comes out and begins to grow and expand and get bigger and bigger. So you can watch the flower evolve in the design. Again, for a city girl, that brings back home the country garden look. So I'm going to prune out a little bit of the lower blooms because they'll be in the way, and then just give it a cut and drop it down into the grass. Very simple, very casual, not too organized. I don't want to interrupt the graceful draping of my grasses. I just want to enhance with a few more flowers. As a final enhancement, just twine or rope This doesn't shout for ribbon. And even raffia was a little too fancy for it. So a little bit of twine, just off of the roll. Give it a cut, maybe double it. And just wrap it around the neck and knot it in front. Not a bow, just a knot, and let it trail downward. So it's a very casual, like I just found something in the junk drawer, which I did, and added it. Then I remember walking out in the fields as a kid, going crazy, chasing the butterflies. Here in the city, we don't see a lot of butterflies, so I wanted to add those. I can take them and just set them in by the wires, but I didn't like that idea. I'm going to take it off the wire, and then using just a tiny dab of the Oasis Floral adhesive, just right on its little bottom end. Got a couple of them here. Letting it dry slightly. That makes it adhere a little better. And then letting them land right on the flower. Facing them so that they're flying into the bouquet, not out. You want them to look like they love your bouquet as much as you do. So if letting them fly into the design is always important. Right in there, find a spot to perch them, like they're collecting nectar. Little bit of the country in the city. A little bit of the country in the city, fresh from the garden, even if it is only a 3-foot square. Now, what am I going to do with all my clippings? I wonder where the closest compost bin is. Don't normally find those right here in the city. If you'd like more creative inspiration and fun, check out our website, flowerschool.com. If you're looking for something or wonder how I did it or want to know more about my garden, feel free to email me at Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. If it's easier, pick up the telephone, 1-800-819-8089. For now, happy summertime. Be sure to go out walking through the fields, have fun, and do something you love.